Hey guys, Jackson here. Today I'm going to show you how I blend colours when I'm digital painting. So I'm just going to go through two basic methods that I've learnt over the years. And they're quite simple, where they just take a bit of practice to master. So the first one will be the soft round brush. So I'll go to my brushes here. So you basically got your two colours here, you got your red and your yellow. The way that I would mix them is when you've got the brush tool, you basically just hold Alt and the little eyedropper tool will come up, so you can select the red or the yellow. At the top here you want to have the opacity on, so that's this button here. You want that on. I've got a pretty good tablet, so at 100% I can still get a pretty soft touch on it. Some tablets, even if you touch soft, it's going to give you a harder mark, so most people might have to bring it down to maybe 70 or 80%. So basically you want to hold Alt, pick from one side, and then just paint it in softly. You don't need to push very hard, you just paint it in softly, and then you can pick from this side and then paint back into the red. So the soft one's pretty easy to use. You just do this. So I wouldn't paint a whole picture with just the soft round brush, because it can sort of look a little bit plasticky in the end. And it's actually what I used to do when I first started out, because I didn't know how to render it with other brushes. So I just went straight for the soft round, and just everything sort of came out bubbly, and I don't know, everything kind of looked just way too fake, I guess. So that's one way you can do it, to get a real nice gradient from the yellow to the thing. And you can keep going over, and you can make the red a lot stronger and come all the way over to the yellow and things like that, depending on what you're painting. So that's the soft round. And now I want to show you my favourite brush to use, which if you've seen my other videos you would have seen this one too, which is the chalk brush. So it's this one here, number 23. So get it in a decent size, keep it on 80% opacity. It's important to, when you're rendering as well, to not have your pen pressure on, which is the button up here. So when you've got that on, your brush goes from thick to thin, like this. So you basically want to have that off, so when you're painting, it's one solid line width, and that'll give you a really nice gradation when you're rendering. So same thing, your eyedrop, hold Alt, eyedrop your blue. Oops, sorry. Eyedrop the blue. Start painting into the green. You can eyedrop some of the green and paint back into the blue. So it's quite easy. It takes a little bit to get the hang of, but I mean, if you make a few of these little colour rectangles yourself and just practice it, it only might take half an hour or an hour or something like that to get a decent gradient out. So just smooth it out, and then you can even drop it back to 50% sometimes, and get it real silky smooth in the middle. So I just like the chalk brush as well, because you sort of get the brush stroke in there as well. It's not this perfect airbrush look, and you could even, if you wanted to, instead of just doing these perfect downwards and upward strokes, you can do like, cross hatching almost through it, like splatter, so it actually looks like it's been painted more, which is kind of cool. So that's basically how I render. So I'll probably look like a bit of a madman if someone was watching me when I was fully focused in, because I'm constantly smashing that eyedropper tool and grabbing and painting, and eyedropping and painting, and eyedropping and painting. So it's just something you get used to, and it just becomes second nature, I guess, like driving a manual car or something like that. So that's basically how I'd render with the chalk brush. So that's those two. I've actually got a reference picture here of Black Panther that I'm going to render out on the side here. So I've done a sketch of him over here, just with the flat colours. That's normally how I'd start. I think I got that from the old comic book style drawing days, where I do the flat colours and the lines, and then paint under the lines. So I'm basically going to use those two techniques that I just showed you, with the soft round brush and the chalk brush, and I'll do a quick time lapse, and you can see how I can turn this flat image into a 3D render. So I'll just be back in a minute.
They can't keep up with me, yeah, nah. They can't keep up with me, yeah, nah. Sick with the grip, don't slip, I'm steady. Bars and flows, I got so many. LMG with a hit so heavy. Chosen one, but I ain't no hitty. Sick with the grip, don't slip, I'm steady. Bars and flows, I got so many. LMG with a hit so heavy. Chosen one, but I ain't no hitty. They said my delivery needed some work. Better run straight to the lab. Got in my bag, started the pack. They get an express, the flow is impressive. Guaranteed, they get in the fast. They're running it back. I never slack. Too much crack, got the head top spinning. They trip it too quick and I spit it. They miss it. I figured this shit will go over the caps. I murder every track. Hear it, then replay it back. Your boy just too good with the raps. Wow. Tryna blow up to the land, man. Got big hits. I'ma need some airtime. With no crash ban for me to land on. Evil Knievel, I'm out of my damn mind. All of these fools that think I'm the bag. I wait for the sequel. Double the evil. Lyrics are lethal. You would just see through. Someone is coming, I get on my gun and I spray like I sneeze to. Bless you. Rap gods coming back for the rescue. Hats off for the man when he stepped to. Back all of you thinking I'm finished. Bitch, I'm stuck like a tattoo. I'll attack you. Gun is at you. Black aimed at you. Got you masked you like a statue. Stiff like bad necks. Mannequin challenge, but you in a casket. Something a dick, cause you was just tragic. Where is the mic? Home we just passed it. One to the madness. Killing the sadness. I got him hype. Feeling his magic. Hey, what? Whenever I talk, nobody listens. All of these edibles, they got me tripping. The only two that my fingers are missing. My people's as big as a button. My vision is fucking a bugging. I see everything but a dozen. Hey, I see everything but a dozen. All of these choppers are good with a quick flow. How many really got bars within those? Not too many, they shots going quickly. But how many people do you really hit though? All of these choppers are good with a quick flow. How many really got bars within those? Not too many, they shots going quickly. But how many people do...
Alright, so that's the Black Panther there. That's about half an hour of rendering for me. So it took me a few years to be able to get to do it that quick, you know what I mean? So like when I first started, I would have never been able to get something like that in half an hour. That would have taken me at least, you know, up to 3 or 4 hours or something like that. So just have patience, and with time you'll be able to render faster and faster the more you practice. So basically I started, if you saw in the time lapse, I started with this soft round brush, just to paint in all the highlights and shadows at the start. So that was that brush there. And then after I do that very rough, I'll go in with the chalk brush and then start painting in all the forms more accurately. So that's back to that one there, the more squarish brush. So when rendering, like I said before, you don't want to use this at the start, the pen pressure. So you want to have a nice square, or you know, a brush with the same width. And then when you're getting into all the details, like all these little metal bits and the little patterns and eyes and things, that's when you want to turn the pressure back on, so you can get these little fine point lines like this. And also all the lines in his suit and things like that, you can even turn the opacity up here, so you can get a real crisp hard line. So you'd make the brush, you know, almost you make the brush super tiny, so like under 5 pixels, and you can get these really crispy lines, you know what I mean? So you can do all those patterns. So yeah, that's basically how I would go about blending colours and rendering for my digital paintings. I hope you guys learned something today, and if you did, make sure to leave a comment below for what you want to see next, and don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, thanks for watching.